Nyamgotho was a name whispered across the hills and the valleys, but no one seemed to know whether the person behind the name was a hero, a trickster, or a walking disaster. To some, Nyamgotho was a legend. To others, a cautionary tale. But everyone agreed on one thing. Whatever Nyamgotho touched always turned into the story worth telling. Nyamgotho and the marriage that never was. The story began in the small village of Odendo, where Nyamgotho lived a quiet life, or at least as quiet as life could be when Nyamgotho was involved. Trouble seemed to follow them like a shadow, though they always managed to wriggle out of it with the mischievous grin and a clever word. One day, news spread like wildfire that Nyamgotho was about to get married. The bride-to-be, Akoth, was a beautiful and a sensible young woman who many believed would finally tame Nyamgotho's chaotic ways. The village rejoiced, but a few skeptics shook their heads. "This is Nyamgotho," they said. "Anything can happen." And they were right. On the day of the bride price negotiations, Nyamgotho arrived with his uncles, dressed to impress in mismatched suits that looked like it had been borrowed from 3 different people. His swagger was unmatched as he led the delegation to Akoth's family homestead. But Akoth's father, known for his sharp tongue and sharper negotiation skills, was ready. "Welcome," the father said, his voice carrying a hint of amusement. "Let's get down to business. My daughter is not just any woman. She's worth her weight in gold. And you, Nyamgotho, must prove that you're worthy." The negotiations began, and it wasn't long before things got heated. Nyamgotho's uncle, a loud and slightly drunk man named Ojwang, kept interrupting with ridiculous offers. 3 chickens, half a bag of millet, and an IOU for a goat. Akoth's father, unimpressed, demanded 10 cows, 5 goats, and a sack of sugar as a starting point. Nyamgotho's delegation, already struggling to keep up, began whispering among themselves. "Does he think we own a ranch?" one uncle muttered. But Nyamgotho, ever the smooth talker, leaned forward with a sly smile. "Baba Akoth," he began, "what is more valuable? Cows and sugar, or a son-in-law who can make you laugh every day of your life?" Akoth's father squinted at him. "You think laughter will pay my debts?" "No," Nyamgotho admitted, "but it will keep you young, and that's priceless." The room burst into laughter, but the father wasn't fooled. "Fine," he said, "but for every mistake you make during this process, there will be a fine." Nyamgotho's uncles groaned. They knew this wasn't going to end well. The first mistake came when Ojwang spilled his drink on the elder sitting next to him. Fine, 1 chicken. The second mistake happened when Nyamgotho tried to sneak in a boiled egg as a symbolic cow. Fine, 1 goat. By the end of the day, the fines had piled up so high that even the village chief, who had been called in to mediate, started shaking his head. "Nyamgotho," he said, "if you keep this up, you'll owe more than the bride price itself." Nyamgotho grinned. "Chief, don't worry, I have a plan." As the sun began to set, Nyamgotho excused himself to use the toilet. He wandered toward the latrine, whistling casually, and disappeared into the bushes. Minutes turned into hours. The delegation waited, then waited some more. When Nyamgotho still hadn't returned by nightfall, it became clear he wasn't coming back. Back at his own homestead, Nyamgotho sat by the fire, eating roasted maize with a contented smile. "Marriage is expensive," he mused to himself. Who knew? The village buzzed with the news of Nyamgotho's escape. Akoth's father fumed, vowing never to entertain another suitor from Nyamgotho's family. Akoth, however, laughed it off. "Honestly, I should have seen it coming," she told her friends. "It's Nyamgotho. He'll make a story out of anything." And so, the tale of Nyamgotho and the marriage that never was became yet another chapter in the ever-growing legend. The moral of the story: as the elders like to say, Nyamgotho may be a fool, but even a fool knows when to cut his losses. And if you ever find yourself negotiating a bride price with someone like Nyamgotho, remember, bring extra cows, or better yet, don't invite him at all. Thanks for watching and listening. My name is Nyar Obura.